Going live, going live. Going
live. It's our going live song.
Mhm.
It's not Spider-Man at all.
No, it's Spider Pig. So bartender Nick was actually here, and then he left. But he made us drinks, and we haven't had a bartender Nick to make us drinks in a while. And I love him to death. But it's just nothing but crushed ice inside, which works great
when you're trying not to make sounds while drinking.
Exactly.
And have no straws.
So I have mine in a great. This is my special. I got it at MegaCon. Richard Feynman mug. Check that out. Oh yeah, and my favorite is they have like a bongo on here, and they have the locks that he's here. Like it's pretty detailed.
It's okay if you don't know what these things are because I don't know what all the things are.
Richard Feynman's awesome, and then yours is awesome.
Star Trek TNG.
It's my Wesley Crusher cup.
Damn it, Crusher iced. Sorry, I was trying to make Crusher crushed ice. It didn't work. I tried.
Shut up, Wesley.
Yeah, Crusher. Ice. Since the end, I'm good. This is the hill I will die on. Yeah, we had a bartender Nick, and they disappeared because the boys are doing a Mission Impossible marathon,
and have fun with that.
Culminating in the new Mission Impossible, which I have to say I did encourage. And I did sit through the first movie, and then was conveniently had a podcast to go record.
Oh, shucks.
So I will be back in time for, I just forgot the name of it, but the Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation.
The only two I liked, the first and the Rogue Nation.
I don't think that I've seen
Henry Cavill. With
that's right, I forgot.
And see if it was worth it.
I went and watched Justice League the other day while I was sewing, because that's how I roll. And all I was like, I was just like, I can't look at your face,
I
Superman.
just want to see if it was worth the bad Superman.
To be fair, I didn't know that this is the movie that he had to keep it. Like, I can't.
You don't say no to Tom Cruise. If he says keep a mustache, you keep a mustache.
I can't. It just was so distracting.
It was very
And what was even worse is when I first saw Justice League, I didn't know about Mustache Gate. Do you need to push the
I'm trying to figure out. I'm good now.
Okay.
I'm good now, I promise.
I didn't know about Mustache Gate. Like, when I saw this, like, I literally leaned over to Nick going, why does his face look CG?
Because of Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is to blame. But yeah, it's good times.
It's good times.
It'll be fun. That's not why we're here.
Punt cards go out tomorrow.
Tomorrow they are stamped and addressed.
And
I
made.
am very excited.
That's a fun one this week or month.
It's a good one.
And we are doing top 10 for Patreons
shortly after.
For non-Patreons, which we will be announcing them on next week's podcast.
So we'll release them for the patrons this week.
Yes.
And then for the following podcast.
Our heads are not processing words right now.
In 2 weeks, then the regular.
No, in a week.
That's fair.
When we record in a week, we will share our top 10.
Will be available.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
But
we are recording the live discussion, and that will be available to you.
Do you realize that I completely forgot to set up microphones for when we
actually need the microphone? Please hold while Nixie sets up the microphone. I'm going to entertain everybody. Hello. Look, it's me. It's just me. I'm not going to do anything worthwhile. Okay, I'm done.
You can see my lovely linen pants that I made myself. Ooh, aren't they fancy? Guys, I sew a lot. Alrighty. You can see my nice little stickers on the back representing some. Oh, there you go.
Got it. Done. Ready. Let's do this.
Alrighty. I did freshly charge it, so it's not going to die, so that's good.
There are moments
when it dies.
We're like, we've got 5% left on this, and we've got about 15 minutes worth of episode.
Please don't die.
Will we make it?
Schrodinger's recording.
Okay, that's all we got. So now we can go on the real cast. Are we ready?
We're almost ready.
Almost ready.
No, it's not picking it up right now.
Just kidding. We're not almost ready. Gonna plug in that in again.
Isn't it the live stuff that you get so much fun?
Maybe it's your dongle. I like saying dongle. There it is. She's alive.
There we go. Woohoo! We just had to cycle the system a few times.
Got it.
If I learned anything from missing a shuttle launch or a Orion launch, it wasn't a shuttle launch. It was cycling the system at NASA. That's what
you call a restart.
Yeah, it's a restart. You cycle the system.
It sounds way cooler. Okay, so let's do this. Episode 135.
Episode 135. Alrighty.
Boom.
Ready?
Yes.
1, 2.
Blast off.
Welcome to episode 135 of There's No Place Like Terra, a Stargate First Watch Rewatch podcast. I am Nixie.
And I'm Grace. And today we are going over Season 7, Episode 3, Fragile Balance, a.k.a. Zoltan Speaks. Because I like the movie big. Or When an Asgard Botches.
My AKA is I Want to Believe. Because this is basically another X-Files episode.
That's true.
Well, we've had the Supernatural episode. This is the X-Files episode.
It is very X-Files-y. I will give you that.
Because our Asgard is definitely Roswell Grace.
Excuse me while I smack my keyboard.
We're having some great technical
difficulties. We're good. I'm alive now.
difficulties.
Everything is fine. Everything is good.
So this first aired on June 30th, 2003. It was written by Damian Kindler. It was directed by Peter DeLuise. I did not see a DeLuise cameo, but we kind of do. So
maybe we saw a baby DeLuise. We don't know.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
We have. I'm gonna let you make the call on if we count or not. The voice of Loki is Mr. DeLuise.
I was gonna ask who Loki was.
Yeah. So is it count as a cameo?
Yes.
Okay.
I will take it.
Then we have a Peter DeLuise cameo.
Because now that I know that people that we know
Yeah.
play the voices, it's fun to ask who it was.
So, and fun fact, the younger Pam, who we kind of didn't see her, but she was like floating. The older woman.
Yes.
Not older.
Yes.
She's like 40s. But
right.
that is played by Joey Shea, who's Dan Shea's daughter.
I don't know who Dan Shea is.
Sergeant Siler.
Oh gosh, yes. Okay. I forgot that Siler has an actual people name.
He's
not just Siler.
He's not just Siler.
He's so good at being
He's also
Siler.
like stunt dude, and he's also RDA stand-in.
He's just Siler.
His other daughter was
like, as far as I know, Siler is RDA's stunt dude. Yeah.
And his other daughter was one of the kids in an episode where the kids are smart until they make them dumb.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my summary of that episode.
Like
Also,
I'm gonna try real hard not to be distracted by the dogs that keep walking out this window.
They're really good-looking dogs.
So many dogs.
There's some good-looking dogs in this neighborhood.
There was just a brindle kitty.
Oh yeah.
And he's beautiful. Okay,
is that Zoe?
Yes, that's right. I met Zoe. Zoe's pretty cool.
There's a new young husky too. It's like a 7-month-old husky.
Young husky sounds like what you call like kids at the playground. All right, you young huskies. I'm old.
So, our amazing young Jack, who we will give all the love in this episode,
husky Jack,
is played by Michael Welsh, whom I first remember is Artem in Star Trek Insurrection, because that's who I am as a person. But I think most of the world would know him as Mike Newton in all of the Twilight films.
I don't know that one.
In the Twilight films.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold it against him, but that's why you didn't see him in the Twilight films, because they're the Twilight films you never watched.
Right. Yeah. Got it.
He played a fairly big role in those.
People like him.
Exactly. That's why I'm not going to hold against him. Man, they were big films. If you gave me money, I'd be in them too. He was also in Joan of Arcadia, which I never saw, but
I remember that.
He played Luke.
That was with Amber Tamblyn.
Sure. He was Luke.
Yes. Right on.
I never saw that. I don't think there were science fiction things in that show.
It was more fantasy than science
fiction.
Oh,
was there fantasy?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a fantasy element to it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
It's interesting.
For some reason, I thought it was a law show.
Well, it's a play on Joan of Arc. Well,
I figured that part out.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like a law show.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I go back and watch it.
Yeah. If I'm gonna make sure I'm thinking of the right show, but yeah, I think it's fantasy based. Kind of like I want to say it was Pushing Daisies, dude, but I could be wrong.
Did you like Pushing Daisies, dude?
It was Amber Tamblyn. And it is James Heyman. No, I don't know who that is. Just kidding. Let's keep it moving.
Anyways, so we start the episode.
But it is fantasy.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
We start the episode with Sam coming out of the elevator. Hammond's there to meet him with a very odd story to tell. At 09:20 that morning, which is 9:20 in the morning.
Right. Thank you. I don't do math on that one.
Just in case you gotta do the military time on that one.
Yeah, got it.
Someone tried coming onto the base.
Military time all morning, guys. All morning.
I can do military time until noon.
Mm-hmm.
Someone tried coming onto the base with Jack's ID. But that person was not Jack. But he did insist on seeing Sam.
Yeah.
No one's really sure why. So when SF opens the door, it's some snot-nosed teen in oversized clothes who's demanding coffee and whose pants are falling down and has an attitude.
He's wearing a jacket the way every kid I ever had a crush on wore a jacket.
Uh-huh.
Like, clearly not yours.
Yeah.
Clearly stole it from older brother or dad or something.
Yep.
But very
Pretty
cute.
sure JTT wore a jacket like that
Yes.
often.
Yes. Like a Carhartt. It might have been a Carhartt.
Oh, yeah.
I'm for it.
One of my two biggest teenage crushes, Jonathan Taylor Thomas,
Take it.
as everyone my age had.
Or Ryder Strong.
See, I didn't have a huge crush on Ryder Strong. My other one,
a troubled, dark-haired boy.
No, my other
with colored eyes.
My other one is Jonathan Brandis. Okay, let me
Oh.
rephrase that. My other one specifically was Lucas Wallachek.
That makes sense.
Because that was a point in time where I didn't have crushes on actors because I didn't know the actors.
Sure.
So I had a crush on the characters.
Yeah.
So it was Lucas Wallachek.
Gotcha.
He talked to dolphins.
I read plenty of Bop magazines. I knew the actors.
I did not.
I knew them.
I did not. Anyways, I love when you were watching this, you were immediately just going, "Who the fuck is this?
Who is this child? Who is this child? Somebody smack him." Yeah.
Sam does remind him about how much trouble he's in since impersonating a military officer is a federal offense.
Mm.
He insists that he's not impersonating anyone. He is Jack O'Neill.
I do like her. She says he's a boy. The way you would pick up a gross sock.
The way that
he's a boy.
The way that I just act around anyone under the age of 16.
Yeah, it's fair. It's like, make it go away.
Come back to me when you're not a teenager.
Yeah.
But this kid, like, look, Michael is great at impersonating RDA.
Definitely a good actor.
Like,
for sure.
He did all of his homework.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was watching videos.
Yeah, the mannerisms, the whole deal, everything.
Speech patterns.
I wonder how much of it was input from RDA as well.
Yeah.
Because if there's anybody more self-possessed, I can't think of, like, RDA knows what his movements and his tics are. So I can see him being offset, being like, no, more like this. More like this.
What's interesting is I think this was a benefit of this episode is that they weren't able to have RDA for most of this filming. And so that's why Jack's here, but he's not.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then we get credits. So when we come back, we get a close-up of his ID.
Mm-hmm.
It says John J. O'Neill, which, first of all, is his name John or Jonathan? Because I can't imagine they put a bunch of abbreviations on your official military badge.
Well, usually John is Jack, but Jonathan is not.
But then is Jack short for Jonathan or whatever his middle name is? Is his middle name Jackson?
No, John and Jack are interchangeable.
But I know, but he also has J as a middle name.
John James Jingleheimer Schmidt.
But is his name? I always thought his name was Jonathan.
Oh, I don't know that I ever thought that.
So that's why I was like,
I think it's just John. Because usually when you see a John, it's John. Usually Jon is a short for Jonathan.
I don't know. I guess I've never, because I just hear John and I've always assumed John with an H is short for Jonathan.
Oh.
I don't think in my head that there's many people who are just named John, but at the same time, I had a grandfather who was just named Mike, or a great-grandfather just named Mike.
Yeah, I mean, John is a separate name from Jonathan.
See, I think that's the part that I don't think I ever realized.
Yeah, so John with an H is biblical.
Okay.
So that's in itself a name. Now, you can have a Jonathan with an H.
Yeah.
And you can have a Jon, John, that's just John, especially now. But traditionally, John, John is just John, like the book from the Bible.
See, and what's funny is that in my head, I just always assumed John was short for Jonathan, and just some people put the H and some people
John
didn't.
F. Kennedy was just John and was called Jack.
I really thought his name was Jonathan.
Nope. Wow, this is awesome.
Like, I legitimately thought JFK was Jonathan.
It's just a John. John versus Jonathan.
Legit.
I am so excited that I know a thing. Traditionally, like it's not an everyday scenario.
I completely get it. But yeah, I just kind of always. So again, what's his middle name then? Is it James? Is it Jackson? Is it?
I'm gonna go with it's
Javier?
John,
Javier.
and I'm gonna start Jacinto. I just started calling him Jack for this episode, so I decided that it's John Jack.
Maybe his middle name is Jingleheimer.
Yeah. Yep. John Jingleheimer O'Neill.
Yep. Anyways, and they said he was born in 52, which if this is 2003, he's 51.
Oh, wow.
Because I also love that they forget to switch the date style back to the American, and it says 2010-52.
Oh, uh-huh.
Which would be October 10th.
20th. Yeah.
But it's because, again,
October
America
20th.
is weird and backwards and everything.
Yeah.
We put the month first.
Reasons.
Because, listen, we're also on the imperial system for measurement, so I'm not going to try to pretend that we make sense.
We're just reasons for things.
Anyways, I just love how much information you got in that one little shot of his ID. Anyways, so the Jackal Ganger gets his coffee, but it's hot chocolate. He's not okay with that. And Sam is, again...
Yeah, Tiny Jack wants some alcohol. Make me big again.
And Jack's like, again, what's the fuck's going on?
Yeah, why is this happening?
But Jack insists that last night he had some dinner, had a beer, went to bed, and woke up like this, and please just get to the part where Janet fixes it.
Yes, and this is the first inkling that we get about the diet. That consists of Jack. Which we will get more on.
Yes.
But let's just remember that whatever he ate for dinner probably could have been bad enough to cause this nightmare.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get there. Also, I doubt it was a beer.
Yeah. 6-pack.
So that's when Daniel comes in. And surely Daniel will recognize Jack. Nope. Which just continues to frustrate Jack. I mean, to Daniel, the loud and grating parts sound like...
I do love how quickly Daniel gets right into the ribbing.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, well, he's annoying.
So then Jack starts spouting out some Stargate previously on Cliff Notes to try to prove his point, which continues after Teal'c walks in, who calls him a child in the most demeaning way ever.
He does, yeah.
I love it.
He does give another one. So I think this season, Teal'c has all my favorite lines. So in episode 1 of season 7, he had, if you are now prepared to die. So there's 1. And now 2 is, how could this child possess such knowledge? Now this line, here's why this line is great. It's good. It's good in the moment.
Yeah.
But this is such a usable line.
Oh, it's amazing.
This is such a line that you could use all the time with your friends to one, not only diss your friends, but also compliment them. Rest assured
it will
that
be in
anytime someone says something stupid in D&D or in life, I'm gonna go, how could this child possess such knowledge?
Well, I can only imagine my Sam character in D&D is gonna get it a lot as a gnome who's the size of a child.
And then again, you are tiny.
You
are small. Then again, you are small.
So anyway, not after like all of this, like maybe the one part that should have really like tipped them off that this might actually be Jack is when he doesn't even flinch as Teal'c stares him down.
Yes, that was fun.
Most men would crumble.
Yeah, I mean, he might have wet his pants a little bit.
Yeah,
but did not drop that stare.
But his pants fell down.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's sort of the best, like, this might actually be Jack as he just continues to stare Teal'c down. So outside in the hallway, the rest of the team, Hammond is like, what the fuck, people?
Yeah. And
Daniel is like, look, I mean, he does have a resemblance, and we've seen some weird shit before. And Teal'c's like, name but one. Okay, so when he got really old and became a caveman and we all switched bodies, Hammond's like, please stop before I kill you.
Just kidding.
Again.
Just kidding. just never. Don't prove me wrong.
At some point later, Janet has done all of her testing, and yeah, it's Jack. I mean, the DNA is almost identical. There's one tiny thing, but we won't mention it now because it's a later plot issue.
It's a very small margin, and I like the emphasis on small. When she says it, she goes, "There's a very small margin."
Jack's tiny now.
He's tiny. I'm tiny Jack.
But like, he's not actually that tiny.
No.
Hush. He's Pickle Rick. Sorry, that hush was to Kaylee, not to Grace.
Yay! I'm going away
I'm
now,
just gonna
guys.
hit Grace with the water gun. So anyway, maybe that tiny issue is the fact that he's lost 35 years.
Yeah.
But the specialist she's bringing in will hopefully help with those hard questions. For now.
Yeah, I have a feeling that because Janet's been bringing in specialists a lot. So I think it's not so much that she doesn't know, but she's just like, I'm fucking done this week. I'm out. I'm taking early evenings. I'm out at 4.
Cassie's probably starting college soon.
Yeah, Cassie's being a real bitch lately because my understanding of teenage girls, because my sister has $5.
Oh, God.
And Jesse's aunt has 4. That at some point you love them, but you fucking don't like them at all. You're like, I just don't like my teenagers. So Cassie's probably hit the age of like just a raging
We saw
asshole.
her in that stage.
We did. So here's my theory.
Yeah.
Janet is not so much unable to deal with it, quote unquote. She's just like, I ain't got time for this.
I'm done with the fucks.
I can't.
None fucks
I
to
have
give.
none fucks, and I have this privilege where I can bring in people.
Yeah.
You handle this. Well, I go make sure that I don't kill this child.
I'm going to go home for a drink.
Yeah.
And that drink is an entire bottle of wine.
This wine bottle. Yeah.
So for now, Sam is going to go set up a PlayStation.
She's such a dick. I love it. It's
so
a little bit dickish. But then I was thinking, I want because she's being a little bit snide, I want to be like, it's actually a PlayStation 2. It's 2003. So fuck off a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe if she's natively an Xbox person or a Nintendo person, but I'd imagine maybe Xbox. She plays more first-person shooters, I can imagine.
Sure.
I was always a Nintendo girl.
Yeah.
Because I like Mario Kart.
Yeah. Fair.
Somehow I never played Zelda though. This is a thing.
Strange.
This is a thing that's been harped on many times, and we're trying to fix it. If anyone has a line on a Zelda game for Super Nintendo, let me know. But I need to fix the non-Zelda playing thing. So apparently that game was basically made for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sam and Teal.
PlayStation for life.
I was always
all
Nintendo.
the way back to Crash Bandicoot.
I was 100% always Nintendo until now I'm Xbox, and that's only because Nick has an Xbox.
Well, I mean, I had a Nintendo when I was little because that's what you had. Nothing else existed. Then we had Sega for a little while, but mostly PlayStation from the day it was born. From the day it arrived on this planet and blinking stepped into the sun. There was more to PlayStation that could ever be PlayStation.
I played
more to Crash than could ever be crashed. The circle of warped. It warps us all. Okay, I'm done.
I played Sega at daycare because apparently I was good at Sonic.
Well, because you go fast.
Because I go fast, so everyone would give me their credit time, and so I'd hopefully beat the game.
Nice.
It's the only game, I don't remember being good at it, but apparently I was.
Nice.
Anyway, Sam and Teal'c sit in the commissary, and they have little grins on their faces as Jack sits down, and Sam calls him cute, and Jack is like, superior officer. No. But Teal'c also has a bit of a point. Being young and healthy again has its advantages. Younger body, increased health and vitality. And Jack's like, my vitality was fine.
Listen,
thank you.
No one is on blue pills. Vitality works just well.
But for now, while he's here, just try to enjoy it.
See, here's my question. Would you want to be 16 again?
Oh, God.
Or a better question.
Yeah.
If you had your 16-year-old body, what would you go do right now?
I will be honest, you've seen pictures.
Yes.
16-year-old Nixie looks identical to 33-year-old
Now, there
Nixie.
isn't an amount of bounce back that we don't have in our 30s that we had at 16.
This is true. I spent a lot of time in the dance studio. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it doesn't even enter my mind to go back.
See, I don't think I would want to be 16 again.
No.
But if I have 16-year-old Grace's body again, I'd just drink. Let's not pretend that's not what I would do. Because 16-year-old Grace could drink and not get hungover, whereas I will drink this one drink in my hand today and be done. And I will be done.
See, I didn't drink a ton when I was 16. In college, I didn't drink very often, but when I did, I always did it like at home, like in the home. But I would do an entire bottle of vodka and be perfectly fine the next day.
Yeah, tequila was my friend, and sometimes things that weren't alcohol were fun too.
I would go to a lot of art parties, and you couldn't walk in the building without walking through just a cloud of smoke.
Oh no, I'm not talking smoke. But that's okay too.
No. Well, it was not cigarette smoke.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm not talking smoke.
I know. What I'm saying is Nixie Square.
Yeah.
And went to a school in the middle of nowhere where that's as good as you got.
Okay. So,
I was not in a city where things were accessible.
16-year-old Grace would just drink and fuck and take ecstasy. The end.
If it hasn't been proven, if you guys haven't gotten the idea yet, is that Nixie and Grace grew up in very different worlds.
Yeah, a little bit different. No, I'm actually glad that I can't go back and do that. Yeah. I actually don't think I would want to.
Yeah, no.
But
no,
it's fun to think that the body will bounce back.
It was. I'd be look back at like the stuff and be like, no, can I have a Manhattan on the rocks, please? Anyways, they take a field trips to Jack's house.
Yes.
And the table, the table is filled with Chinese takeout.
Yeah.
Did he have a date or someone?
No, I'm very okay with the amount of food on his table.
That is a fuck ton of food.
Listen, I will tell you something. Here's Grace's theory on Chinese food, and it's clearly backed up here. Okay. And my other sources, Gilmore Girls. You can't order a little bit of Chinese food.
Okay.
There's no such thing. You must order a lot.
Enough for
and even if you order one thing, you're still gonna get a box of Chinese food.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a little bit of Chinese food. All Chinese food must be ordered in mass quantities.
Okay.
And you must eat it for like 4 days.
See, I've always gotten one thing and then like maybe an egg roll or two.
What's the matter with you?
Many things. We've proven this.
No, my theory on Chinese food is you order $30 worth of stuff, no matter what.
Okay.
And you eat it for a week.
Okay.
The Grace's theory on Chinese food.
The popcorn kernel that I had stuck in my tooth.
Is it gone?
I got it.
Yay, I'm proud of you.
I was trying to be really subtle about it for the people who are watching the video. I got it.
You know, it's super subtle when you tell people.
That's the best part of it, though.
Yeah, guys, we're a little punchy today, can you tell?
So meanwhile, Teal looks in the fridge and asks if Jack is conducting science experiments. Jack insists the salsa's still good, but listen, salsa, if salsa's questionable, it's pretty much dead. It's been a while. Lasts for a while.
Yeah. Cool.
And Sam does swipe the beer he tries to drink, though.
Okay, the other fun thing that Sam does is she sniffs his water.
Yeah.
That's not water, is it?
That's not water. That's not water.
Because her face, after she sniffs it, is like, oh, that's not water.
Now the question is it vodka or gin?
Well,
I'm going with gin.
If it smells, it's probably gin, right?
Well, but you can still smell if it's vodka.
True.
But I'm assuming just
straight Everclear. It's like for those emergency nights when he's getting like PTSD or something. He's just like chugs it.
Here's what I'm assuming is that it was a gin and tonic, but it's been sitting out, so all the fizz is gone.
Oh, so it's just
because a gin and tonic,
gin and sugar.
It's a gin and sugar. Yeah. If you leave it out, it looks like just water. You just didn't put a lime in it.
Yeah.
But apparently the last thing he ate for dinner. The last thing he ate before he went to bed was 4 cheese burritos with a side of guacamole.
Now, I hope he means like bean and cheese burritos and just said cheese burritos. Because if you just roll cheese into a burrito form.
Here's another question. When was the Chinese food from?
Probably day 3. My other question, when will this man ever poop? Just straight cheese.
Like most people, like, was it Chinese food the night before that? Like,
Sure.
did you just leave it out? Like, you
Maybe.
can't do that to Chinese food.
Maybe he ordered that Chinese food and to meet him at home. Then the drive home, he stopped at Taco Bell and forgot he had ordered Chinese food. He's like, well, now I just eat all the food.
Like, what is he eating?
Thank God this man works as hard as he does. The minute he retires fully, he's putting on like 100 pounds. Just if he continues to eat that way.
If he doesn't change his diet.
Yeah.
Was the Chinese food lunch and he just left it out?
It's probably from the night before.
Ew, put it away.
No, it's so covered in like sodium and just shit.
MSG.
It's never going bad.
Oh.
It's never going bad.
Okay. So they had
But I would put it in the fridge because cold Chinese food is actually better than
I like
warm
cold
Chinese
pizza, but I do need to heat up my Chinese food.
You give me some cold lo mein, and
yeah.
I will snarl at you if you try to take it.
So they head into Jack's bedroom, and you see a photo of him and a photo of Charlie, and Daniel is going through his underwear drawer.
Oh, God. Okay. He's a teenager. I must go through his underwear drawer, right? Like, that's where teenagers keep shit.
Like, Daniel, why?
Maybe he's always wondered if Jack is a briefs or boxers man, and Jack will not tell him.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or maybe he's got this theory. He's like, I bet Jackson never nude. And he wants to see if it's just a bunch of jorts in there.
I can imagine that Jack is a boxer fan.
Episode, guys.
Yes.
I'm going to go with boxer briefs. There's a lot of activity, a lot of running around.
Well,
okay. Keep things.
I think there's a difference. I think at home he's a boxer, and on duty he's a boxer brief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
There.
So anyway, all of his medals, military medals on the wall, framed very nicely. Basically exactly what you expect his room to be.
Yeah.
So, and then he walks into Teal'c, who turns on the light, and Jack flashes to an Asgard standing over him with green lights floating around.
Not good.
So back in the briefing room, Daniel thinks that the whole thing sounds a lot like UFO abduction cases that he's read, or like a bunch of episodes of X-Files.
Mm.
And Jack is just like, you remember so much, and yet you forget my birthday.
Aww.
Because it's all about me.
Yeah.
And I'm with Daniel. I remember the weirdest shit details that you could possibly imagine, but I remember no birthdays.
So here's, birthdays are tough.
Like, numbers, like, no.
Here's my thing with birthdays. I remember your birthday within a 3-day margin. I remember everybody's birthday within a 3-day margin.
I can, sometimes, there's a couple people that I'm like, I know the season it's in.
Or it's like a week. Maybe let's say 7 days. But I'm like, your birthday's around here.
Yeah, I have some people where I can get the week. I have some people because there's a direct correlation. I know it's around like a family member's birthday.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
And then I have other people where I'm like, it's in the spring, right?
Yeah.
It's in the spring region.
Yeah. Or, sometimes people have really good birthdays for it. Like, I know a couple people who are January 1st, and I'm like, no kidding.
Yeah, that one I'm not going to forget.
I probably won't forget that one.
So, but why would the Asgard kidnap Jack and make him younger? I mean, it's basically completely
because of the Zoltan machine in Big. And he went in there, and instead of saying, I wish I were big, he said, I wish I were small.
Uh-huh.
But he's not. He's not good at that.
But why would the Asgard do this? Because they're allies-ish now. Ish. Sort of. Mm. So Daniel is going to do some research, because that's what Daniel does, and Sam is going to head up to the briefing at 1300 hours. Mm-hmm. The one that Jack was supposed to lead.
That's 1 o'clock, guys.
It is 1 o'clock. But with the current situation, also the fact that Sam is totally fucking capable of handling that briefing on her own, but we'll get to that. Mm-hmm. So shortly after that, Jack knocks on Hammond's door. I mean, Hammond's hands are kind of tied right now. I love that Jack is like, well, I went to bed watching CNN and woke up as part of the MTV generation. And I was like, was anyone part of the MTV generation?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My bigger question is, was Jack really watching CNN? Was he really watching CNN? Or was he watching, like, The Late Show?
He was flipping back and forth.
Okay.
He was commercial
Like,
flipping.
I'm not to say that he's not an educated man.
Yeah.
But the man's eating burritos and Chinese food and beer. Is he really paying attention to CNN right now?
I can imagine he was watching, like, The Late Show, because I can imagine he's a Letterman fan over a Leno fan.
He's probably watching, like, Ren and Stimpy.
But on commercials, he was
Yeah.
switching to CNN.
Yeah.
It was just on the switch,
Mhm.
the previous, the last, whatever that button is.
Yep.
But Jack is just barking at a truck that went by. Hey! Okay. Anyways, Jack is just still pissed that he's not running the F302 briefing, because he's flown it more than anyone else, but Hammond bottom lines it that a bunch of pilots are not going to listen to a boy.
Yeah. You're so small.
And Hammond punches that boy.
Yeah.
Because it's Hammond.
Yeah.
To be fair, Hammond would call Jack boy.
I want to say how great this kid's face
Yeah.
was allowed to just be full of acne.
Uh-huh.
Like, I almost want to say that they added more.
Probably.
Because it's just this great amount of, like, splotch along
Yeah.
your face, just to remind you that he's a child,
Mhm.
in case you forgot.
But Jack does have a point that they're going to have to start getting used to some weird shit if they're going to go work here.
Also, where did the tiny suit come from?
What tiny suit?
The one that Tiny Jack is wearing.
Well, it probably is just a smaller sized.
It's just so form-fitting.
Well, I mean, but there's probably, like, it's the extra small.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
There are people in the Air Force that are his size.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not, like, tiny. He's just the size of a 15-year-old.
He's
There
so
are
small.
There
Yeah.
are some grown men, we know them, that are the size of what, for example, I was at 15.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
So it sounds like these are a bunch of new pilots that are being assigned to the SGC strictly to be the 302 pilots, and we'll get to that later. I noticed a cool thing. So Hammond lays down what could be a really, really, really harsh point. That he might still be a valuable asset to the SGC, but as not in the same way he was before. If he stays age-wise 15, he can't lead SG-1.
Right. Right. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of potential in using someone that looks like him for other things.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah.
You can't really intimidate a gold.
No.
As a 16-year-old boy.
So in what is now once again Daniel's lab, Teal'c is cruising the internet. He's gotten very good at the internet.
Teal'c is hacker man.
Oh yeah. Like he is typing naturally.
Teal'c was in Mr. Robot.
Like I know people who have been using computers for 20 years that do not type as well as Teal'c does.
I'm waiting for the hood to go over the head. The whole deal, the whole stereotype.
So he's cruising the internet, and Daniel is referencing a paper library. Teal'c is way ahead of the game. He's already entered in some parameters. The list is like any you would get on the internet if you just searched alien abduction. Like it's long and full of crazy people.
Yeah, the number of hits you would get on that is ridiculous.
But they narrow the list down a bit using the search term of 4 green lights. There are 4 lights!
I was waiting for that reference.
You're welcome, Picard fans.
Yeah.
But they do narrow the list down. And the most recent search, the most recent hit was 19 years ago.
Wow.
And so 8 of the stories, people on this list are in the US. So they start, I really wish there was a map that they were trekking Indiana Jones style.
Yeah.
But there's not. And we get a Teal'c indeed somewhere in there. Somewhere in that area. So we're at the F302 pilot briefing after this, and you can see their squadron name on their. You flash the camera specifically flashes close to it. They're the Snake Skinners.
Yowza!
Isn't that awesome?
I'm okay with that.
The first SFW, which I'm assuming is first Space Fighter Wing.
Yes,
and that's awesome.
Can you imagine being pulled into that team? Like you're just a pilot. Not just a pilot, but you know,
you're a badass pilot.
You're a badass pilot. You're like, I am at the top of my game. I am at the top of this job. There's nothing more I could do. And they're like, wait, there's more.
Hold my beer.
Yeah.
Hold my ship.
Yeah.
So Sam walks in to start this briefing. They have an intel package about the ships. Their upcoming mission is Operation Blue Phoenix, which will be a live fire combat simulation. And the pilots are like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Weren't you second seat? And Jack was the pilot? And didn't he command all the X-302 missions?
I
And
feel
why
like those
isn't he
are
here?
fighting words.
They are. And Sam shoots back that Jack is busy, and regardless who commandeered those missions, I built this fucker, so sit the fuck down and listen up.
Basically, have a little bit of respect because I've already fucking done this, and you don't know how quickly I can take your ass out.
Yes.
Or the things I've flown, or the amount of planets and suns that I have blown up, motherfuckers!
So,
and then just blow up the room!
If this was a lesser show, this was not Stargate, I would have a major issue with this scene.
Yeah.
That these pilots don't listen to a qualified woman, but they listen to this punk kid who walks in. However, except for that one episode that we don't mention, they have never treated Sam as anything less than an equal except where rank is concerned.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give the show a pass on this, regardless of how it makes me feel on the inside.
Yeah, it makes me pretty mad.
Because I know they needed to push back one direction in order to have Jack come in and take over on this mission briefing.
Sure.
They wanted to have the second half of that scene where Jack comes in and they don't buy him, and they had to do something in the beginning. So I get the idea that they're pushing back on Sam because she was second seat. She was not the commander of those missions, and not because she's a woman. Mm-hmm. And that's why if this was any other show, and I didn't know these writers and know how they treat Sam,
right,
I would have more issue. But because it's a Stargate and I know the track record of the series so far, I'm going to give them a pass.
Okay.
And just go, it was a bad, maybe not bad. It was not the best choice in order to make their second point.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't like it.
No, it's bad.
I don't like it. So that's where it is.
Yeah.
I don't like the scene. You're right. I haven't seen them treat her like this before.
And that's the only reason why I'm not sort of really rolling them over the coals for it. Like, it was a bad, it gives a bad vibe off it. But because they don't have a history of doing this. I still want
her to kind of like
sit down, shut up, and fucking listen to me.
Not even that. I just kind of want her to school them a little.
Yeah.
With her knowledge.
Yes.
Before Jack comes in. Which she does to a tiny degree. I just want them to push that part a little bit.
But I really wish even if they had the slightest line of, actually, I'm highly qualified because I built the fucker.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
just something to push a little bit further.
So, Jack fights his way past the SF outside, takes over the briefing, and the pilots don't take him seriously at first, because who the hell would?
Right.
And Jack lets off the best subtle callback line. In fact, this line here makes me almost forgive the rest of the scene, where he's like, hey, I realize it doesn't say Colonel anywhere on my uniform, but it should.
Yeah.
Calling back to Wormhole Extreme brings back my heart a little happier again.
Fair.
And somehow, suddenly, all of the pilots sit straight up, and Jack starts chatting about velocity, knowing your enemy, and how the internal dampeners only compensate 90%.
It's a bit of a tough scene to swallow, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all this trouble with Sam, but then they believe this kid wasn't. Realistically, they wouldn't believe the kid that quickly.
No.
Anyway, done. But I do want to say that if Death Gliders 101 were offered at my school, I would take it.
Oh, for sure.
Also, would that be a science course?
No, I think it would be it would be part of an aviation school.
But if, let's say, it was offered at a regular school.
Oh, I think it depends on whether you're going into the actual flying of it, or Death Gliders 101 is knowing sort of the mechanics. It depends. Is Jack teaching it or is Sam teaching it?
I want Sam to be my teacher.
Then that's going to be more of sort of a mechanical engineering situation.
Okay. So it's more of a math class versus a science.
It's like this science. Because
I want it to be an elective, but what will it fall under? Is it going to fall under my math requirement or my science requirement?
Probably more of your science, because I have a hunch that if Sam is teaching it, you're going to understand why the engines work and how the engines work and how to fix the engines, how to hotwire them. Jack is teaching it. You're going to learn how to pull all the maneuvers in the world, and
it's really just more of a driving course.
It's just an aviation course, yeah. So on to Daniel and Teal'c Roadshow. they meet some farmer who's like, why do you care now?
Mm.
But he does tell a story of when he was younger. A light took him. He was floating. It bleeds into Pamela's story. It's identical, green floating lights. And that bleeds into a man speaking.
It's a fun little edit of all the different stories. Get a little montage going.
And our subtitle said Cantonese, which makes sense to me because there's an interpreter. And I would think Daniel could speak conversational Mandarin.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows so many languages. He would obviously, I'm assuming, know Mandarin before Cantonese.
But I wonder, too, because this is his daughter or granddaughter?
I don't really want to say. It seems like it might be granddaughter.
So, but it kind of makes it feel like it's a family member. Yeah. And I don't know that so much that it's about an interpreter. It's just like, this is the person I talk to most comfortably.
That's true. I also just would assume that Daniel would know Mandarin over Cantonese.
That's fair.
But he tells a story when he was a young man being abducted, and Daniel asks who kidnapped him, and he totes described an Asgard. It's an
Asgard.
So back at the SGC, Daniel...
I wish they would have had a picture of an Asgard and be like, does the man look like this? He's a little tiny man.
So back at the SGC, Daniel and Sam are catching Hammond up. All the people he met, their stories are all identical to Jack's, without the getting younger part.
Mm.
And I love how he's like, the story is cliche, even if you watch enough TV, because it's kind of an X-Files thing.
That's true.
But the four glowing lights are very specific. And the Asgard haven't responded to their hails yet. And then Jana walks in and goes, it should probably arrive pretty soon, though.
Knowing what we know at the end of the episode, do you think right now the Asgard are like, fuck, we didn't tell them about Loki?
I don't know. Because I can't decide if it's like they're getting the message, don't know how to respond yet, or if they just don't get the message, but because the second signal is sent from an Asgard ship, it's like a fast pass.
Okay.
At Disney.
Gotcha.
To get past the line.
Gotcha. I like to think it's like, fuck, we didn't tell him about Loki. Now he's fucking shit up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going into it very angrily.
Probably. So Sam drops by Jack's room while he plays Gran Turismo 3, which I did have to look up because the only racing game in my world is Mario Kart, the original.
Nice.
Jack is doing great except for a new Zit.
Yeah.
And Sam gets to drop the first little bomb that Janet found something that's happening on a cellular level and his genetic structure is growing unstable. And Jack's like, shh.
Yeah.
www.zipit.com.org.
Just like English, Jack English.
She tells him he's dying.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yowza.
So in the infirmary, Janet...
I will say, Jack takes it pretty well.
He does.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I'm laughing because Kaylee's like trying to get up on the couch behind us.
You can see her ears.
So, in the infirmary, Janet does try to leave Jack some blood in his body. He's feeling fine now, but symptoms should start hitting him soon. He has either weeks or days left, and something caused a total system failure.
Yep.
And Jack doesn't get it, though. I mean, he saved their skinny asses from implicators, and now they're just shrinking him and leaving him to die.
It does seem, until we know the truth, it's like, what the fuck?
It does.
Why did these guys turn into such assholes?
Yeah.
The fact that we're not angrier is surprising.
Yes. So in the briefing room, Jacob is here. And I love how he's like, hey, tell my grandkids I say hi. And I'm like, couldn't you just take an extra day off on your trip to go see your grandkids
also,
yourself?
Not the time, man.
Yeah.
Give it a minute. Go check on Jack first.
They are walking up the stairs to go see Jack.
That's fair.
So, but I'm also just like, take a day off.
Yeah.
Go see your grandkids.
How about just say hello? Although I wonder if it's more damage to them to see him for a day than to not see him at all.
I'm sure they barely saw him to begin with. He was in the military.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not going to sense you have an alien inside your gut, like neck, head.
We don't know.
Area.
Words in the body. In your body.
So even Jacob is taken aback at how young Jack is.
Mm-hmm.
But really the Toker suggestion is to put him in stasis until they have an answer.
Yeah. Which is fair. It's what we do on Earth. You sometimes put people into a coma so you can figure out what is going on.
It is. However, considering what happened last time with the Toker when he was ill.
Sure.
Rescued a girlfriend who never met before.
Sure. The trust level isn't quite there.
No. But this time is different. No symbiote to heal him. Just high-end cryogenic old-fashioned freezing to buy some time to save him. And they have
hang out with Walt Disney.
Yep. And they have a team standing by. Jack's like, can I have 5 minutes to think about this and escape the base? Hammond's like, you can have 10.
Yeah.
So as he's thinking,
so generous.
Sam wonders if he's going to do it. And Daniel tells her that if he has to drag the tyke, kicking and screaming through the gate, he will, because he did not come all the way back just to watch him die.
Fair.
And that's when we find an unconscious guard and have to call security breach. Jana goes running and just misses Jack going into the elevator.
I really wish we knew how tiny Jack takes out a guard. Because he is small.
He is.
So it had to have been some sort of sneak attack.
Well, but he also knows enough. It could. First of all, the SF was not expecting it.
Right.
And he knows enough hand-to-hand combat. He has all the memory of it.
He doesn't have the power, though, behind it. I really think it had to be a sneak attack.
Yeah, it was just surprise, and he had a couple good moves and just knocked him out.
He's a sneaky little fart.
As people run around to find him, Jack runs from the ventilation shaft to that ladder that we know runs to the surface, because it's just the Achilles heel of the entire base. 6 hours later, Hammond's like, I guess it's pretty clear he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
We have state and local authorities out looking for him, as Jana comes rushing up, which can never be good.
No.
And then we get this amazing scene of Jack getting kicked out of a liquor store, not even being allowed to buy light beer.
No, the worst.
And we get another person saying "for crying out loud," which we'll debate if it counts or not.
As well, it is Jack saying "for crying out loud."
No, it's not.
Oh, that's right.
It's being said to Jack.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about it.
We'll discuss it later.
I was busy thinking about how I never tried to buy beer at that age, because I was like, we're clearly 16, we're not 21. But we did buy cigarettes.
Like, I had a hard time buying beer when I was 21.
Yeah.
Like, I somehow felt guilty about doing that.
Well, I don't think I felt guilty. I was just very realistic with the fact that I did not look 21. Yeah. But we did buy cigarettes. Now, the best part is I would buy cigarettes that I did not smoke. But somehow I was the one who got away with buying the cigarettes, because I was the one who was most convincing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, out of coincidence, Harlan Beck walks by, who Jack served with, or Jack's uncle knew from Operation Proven Force in the Gulf.
Yeah.
And Harlan smells that this is total bullshit.
Sure.
Jack's like, yeah, Uncle Jack's been like a father to me since my folks died. He's doing good. He's not that old.
Yeah.
Harlan's like, well, tell him to watch his 6.
Yeah.
So speaking of 6, and Harlan's like, fuck off, kid.
While we're on the subject of 6s, how about you do me a 6 and give me a 6 of... Yeah, I'm done.
Something. Yeah. So this one was a little bit harder for me to research. And it's only because when it's more recent history like this, I go off on so many goddamn tangents that it's hard to make a coherent line of thought. So I didn't find Operation Proven Force, but I did find Joint Task Force Proven Force.
Oh.
And it was out of Incirlik, Turkey, which I'm butchering the name, but that's okay. The idea was that most of the fighting was taking place in sort of middle and southern Iraq.
Okay.
So if they started a second front in the north, they could split the Iraqi forces. And in doing this research, you run across all of these big names, Schwarzkopf, Colin Powell, and again, no digressions. Running this out of Turkey had its own political issues at the time.
Okay.
Because they didn't necessarily want, like, they would sort of passively help, but they didn't want any missions going out of Turkey.
Got it.
So this was what's known as a Joint Task Force, which basically means a multi-service group. And they didn't get approval to operate out of Turkey until the first day of Desert Storm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they joined in on the second day.
Dang.
Which it was not that long of a, non-war. So... Well, I guess that one was. Anyway, Operation Desert Shield. There's Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Desert Shield was like putting all your pieces on the map where you want to start the battle with.
Sure.
And then Desert Storm was the battle.
Yes.
And Operation Proof of Comfort was the cleanup and help and everything afterwards. And I did not, however, see AC-130 gunships on the list in the 744th Composite Wing that was there at the base. But that was just my research. So those things are like beasts because they're versions of C-130s. Like, they're fucking gigantic.
You're saying a lot of numbers. All I'm understanding is giant.
C-130s are giant planes.
Got it.
They are giant planes.
Got it.
Big old giant planes.
Got it.
Like,
Got it.
can carry a tank plane.
Okay, I think I know. Okay.
Yeah.
I just locked it. Just locked in.
Yeah.
So we used to have a local air show back home. Well, they still have it, and they would let you into planes. There was one where you could fit, just crowds of people would walk through it.
Uh-huh.
Yep, I have been in one of those.
I just pulled up the picture. Like, they're gigantic.
I've been inside one of those.
Imagine that thing loaded up with guns.
Yowza.
That's a C-130 gunship.
I do know that ship.
And I think in the show it was like flowing a C-130 gunships over Baghdad. Now I didn't see the gunships on the list for the wing that was out of that base. I also think that the Northern Force did not go as far south as Baghdad.
Okay.
I'd be completely wrong on those things. If I am, correct me. But I think if he was flying a C-130 gunships over Baghdad, he would have been out of the Turkey base.
All I can think of is the Outcast song "Bombs Over Baghdad." I'm trying real hard to pay attention.
Okay, so moving on. In the infirmary, Selmak is basically just like, well, he's dying, but there's a twist to him dying.
There's a twist.
You remember that abmorality?
I think abmorality is even better than abnormality, and abmorality is when your morality gets a little bit twisted. You have an abmorality.
So the Tok'ra.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
But Jack is a clone.
Dun dun dun. That's where we do get a little bit of dun dun dun.
We do.
Come on.
So in Hammond's office, the rest of the team's there, and they're like, "Well, what do we call him now? A doppeljack?
Jack.
A jackalganger?
Jackalganger.
A jackal clone? Jack?
I like Jack the most. I wish they'd asked me what to call him because duplicate Jack is so boring.
It is, but I kind of like jackal clone.
Jackal clone.
And Jackalganger was Nick's.
Jackalganger's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm all about Jack.
I had Doppeljack to begin with.
Doppeljack is pretty good.
But that's more cliche.
Doppeljack.
Yeah. I kind of like Jackal clone, but Jack works too.
Yeah.
So Daniel has a theory. The Asgard did this.
Duplicate O'Neill sounds like a full name. General Duplicate O'Neill.
Sorry. We know the Asgard cloned themselves. And instead of the old bangity bang, bang 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 bang, so bang 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 bang. But now they are sort of degrading from going through the Xerox machine too many times. And Hammond's like, continue.
Yeah.
None of the other people taken end up being clones. They were all returned. So they're assuming for now that whoever took Jack put his clone here so it wouldn't be missed. And the fact that he's younger is a mistake.
They botched the roll on the clone, and thus comes my title.
They did botch the roll.
Yeah.
And the real Jack will be
You're
put
a
back.
clone, Harry! Sorry.
Oh my god, it's the AKA. You're a clone, Harry. I can't focus. So they're going to have to find the Jack in order to put him back to get the real Jack and arrest the Asgard who did this.
Yeah. And
that's when Hammond's phone rings. Harlan works at the Air Force Academy. And he called in some weirdness. By the way, yes, in 94, the 10th Air Base Wing was stationed at the Academy, so it'd be here in 2003. And has a long history, too, going back, stretching to World War II, even before the Air Force, when Air Force was still part of the Army.
Okay.
Yeah. Just that one they got right.
Got it.
It's a
They did a right thing. They did a good thing. Got it.
So, the team finds Jack fishing in the stream. It's like my favorite kind of stream, by the way. Like lots of rocks, fast moving.
Yeah.
It's a good stream.
When we were little one time, there was always weddings at the same church because it's an old mission. It's actually an old mission that they shot a lot of Vertigo at.
Oh, okay.
And so it was a very popular spot for weddings. And we were all very little children. And so they would let us come to it because there was a bunch of outdoor space where you would just make your kids go run around.
Yeah.
And then eat and then go run around. And so we would attempt to catch fish.
Yeah.
With styrofoam cups through sticks.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Did you stab them?
Well, the thing was, you stab the stick through the styrofoam cup and then just try to catch it in the cup.
I was more like, did you accidentally stab fish?
No.
Okay.
We just never caught any because we were terrible. And we were children.
Fairly sure there's no fish in this stream, but we know that's not a requirement for him fishing. And apparently the password to approach is beer. So he's pretty much a no-go with the deep
It's
freeze.
kind of like Dumbledore's like certain treats unlock his study.
It's like lemon something.
But he's like Leinenkugel, lemon drop,
Lemon drop,
or acid pop.
lemon kugel.
Yeah. And so for Jack, it's all different beer names.
And Jack fills him in that he missed some while he was missing.
Yeah.
They've moved past the Tok'ra ideal. We're short on time, and while there's no real easy way to tell you this, so Sam is just gonna come right out and say,
"Yeah, thanks for that, you butthole." I do love that. Like, I don't want to do this weird part.
Sam's like, "Fuck you, Daniel."
Yeah.
But really,
I do love this Daniel that came back. He's got a little bit of bite.
So
I think old Daniel would have been like, "It's my duty to tell him myself," and he's like, fuck this noise a little bit. You tell him.
So you know how the Asgard clone themselves, and we get Jack.
You're a clone, Harry.
Teal just drops it too.
Yeah. He's our Hagrid.
He is. And to find the real one, I mean the other real one, the full-grown real one, we need your help.
Please come back.
So in the briefing room, Daniel found a pattern of 7 days, which is a great show, by the way, between abductions. So hopefully the Asgard will be back tonight. And Jack's like, this plan fucking sucks.
Yeah. Right, because either way, he's a little bit fucked.
He is. So, you know, he knows that regardless of, like, if he's real or not, all these people want is you want the real one back.
Yeah, so even if things get solved, he's still fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a fun feeling.
And Sam reminds him that, you know, it's more that they just don't know what else to do for him.
Sure.
Right now. And Teal'c suggests that the Asgard could probably fix him. So
I mean, if they did it, it's suffice to say that they should fix it. Yeah.
So they'll use Jack as bait to get Jack back. And Hammond will allow him at least a Zat gun. So cut to Jack reading Cracked magazine in bed, which, yes, for those of you who only know Cracked.com, it was a magazine first.
Wow.
Started in 1958, which is pretty much a Mad Magazine clone, which started in 52. The last issue of Cracked was in 2007, but it sort of died well before then.
That's fair.
But I looked it up. This is the February 2003 issue. So clearly this is when this was filmed.
Sure.
February 2003. I would assume that Jack is a purist and a Mad Magazine person.
I would have thought so too.
Maybe he just gets to both.
Maybe he just went through it too quickly.
Maybe.
You know what magazine I miss is Disney Adventures.
I do remember Disney Adventure.
Best.
Yeah.
Done.
I did
and
that.
Sassy magazine.
I never got
I
sassy.
was a big sassy girl.
Yeah, I never get sassy. So anyway, everyone is watching and listening and waiting, and Jack does remember the instructions, and just like that, the Asgard beam him up and deposit a sleeping, fully grown Jack.
Little fetal position Jack for you.
Sam has some issues waking up, and Teal'c is able to get through him.
Do you think Sam has like a couple of moments of like, he's so cute? Okay, work. I was working.
And I love it. He just kind of gruffly wakes up and is like, why are you all in my bedroom?
Yeah. I gotta say, on the same note, if just Sam were in that bedroom, he's like, hey, check my breath real quick. Hey. Ooh, it's bad. Don't come too close.
Don't. It's been 7 days.
But the morning one must be fantastic at that point.
Yeah, especially later when he's like, I haven't even gotten to pee yet.
Yeah.
And like, you should probably not film him.
Yeah.
From
certain angles.
Yeah. Up on the Asgard ship, young Jack just immediately zats the Asgard.
Tiny O'Neill's the most aggressive O'Neill.
Oh, yes. And then he shoots the glowing ball, keeping him afloat, so he just hits the ground hard. Yeah. And back in his bedroom, Jack is still on the Y part. Up in orbit, Jack has made little time in zip tying the Asgard down, and what weirdly might be my favorite moment of the entire episode, heads to a console. Okay, wrong console.
Yeah.
And follows the instructions.
I do like his whole approach in this situation. It's very My Favorite Murder. It's like that pepper spray first, questions later.
Exactly.
He's like, Zatgun first, questions later.
Exactly.
Do all my shit, yeah.
So he beams SG-1 up, and Jack was having the weirdest dream. So Jack and Jack come face to face.
It's double Jack.
And
he just made some coke now.
He's like, I can't comprehend. And he just looks past Sam, the kid, to Sam, and it's the most awkward introduction that you could possibly dream of. Part of you is like, shouldn't he recognize his younger self?
You would think.
But also, the other part of me is like, you've just woken up from a week-long coma, you haven't had coffee, and you most likely haven't seen a photo of your 15-year-old self in a decade.
I don't think it's so much that he doesn't recognize it, it's that he can't compute it.
He's like,
because imagine waking up and seeing your younger self and being like, what the fuck is happening?
yeah.
It's not so much that he doesn't recognize him, he's just
He can't compute.
This does not make sense.
He can't compute.
Sam makes sense of this.
His brain just freezes.
Yeah,
for a
because
second.
I think that's what mine would do. I would be like, no.
Control-Alt-Delete.
Yeah.
Control-Alt-Delete.
Get out.
So Daniel feels...
Or, if you figured out the other secret, it's Control-Shift-Escape. What?
Well,
yeah.
So Daniel fills him in on the clone part. It's weird for both of them. And I think Daniel calls Loki at that part an Asgard. I'm pretty sure he says Asgard.
Asgard.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it.
I would say that too.
It's like, look, the Asgard's awake. Distraction from awkwardness.
This is not. Look over here. Yeah.
And as soon as he's awake, he sees both Jacks, and he's like, fuck.
I fucked up. Yeah. Now what? Explain yourself.
Jack's like, yeah, fuck. Yeah. I just woke up. I haven't had coffee. I haven't peed. And you just cloned my ass and made a mini-me.
Yeah.
I should be irked.
Yeah, to put it nicely.
And we find out that he is Loki.
Of course he's Loki. Who else would be doing this shit but Loki?
The most textbook example for chaotic neutral that's ever existed. Just him and Coyote.
If there was like a chaotic,
yeah,
that's what he would be.
True.
Yeah. Oh, Coyote, I like Coyote.
Coyote's good. But Loki is a good talk. Oh, that doesn't last.
Guys,
for long
I'm
now.
like 3/4 into my drink and I can no longer sit up straight. I just wanted to share that. For those of you who can't see the video.
So he can't fix the clone, who just informed Jack that he's dying since the Xerox machine broke. And that's why he's been experimenting here on Earth to fix the broken clone issue that the Asgard have. He used to be a geneticist with the Asgard
broke you
Council.
Because then if I break you, I can fix things.
Yes. He was fired after he was caught performing unsanctioned experiments on humans. Yeah. Which Jack picks up the bigger issue there. There are sanctioned experiments.
Tell me
humans?
more. Yeah. Woza. Yeah.
So Loki was just...
It's like animal testing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, bad animal testing is bad, but good animal testing is still kind of bad.
It's still gray area.
Yeah.
Gray area there.
Like, I understand why, but it's still kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah. So Loki was just courageous enough to do what had to be done. I mean, okay, look...
It's a perspective.
Exactly. Like, you can sort of see his side of things. His entire peoples are on the edge of extinction. So
what's a couple humans?
Exactly. And
what's
humans,
a couple overpopulated humans?
Humans are where Asgard were 1,000 years ago, and to Loki, a few human lives is worth his entire civilization.
Absolutely.
If you do the math.
Yep. If you're just talking numbers.
The needs of the one
outweigh
the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one.
Hey, we did that on accident.
I did.
It was fun.
So he's come back here after 19 years because he thought that Jack was the one.
There can
be
only one. You were supposed to bring balance to the No, that's not wrong.
That's
wrong
the one
franchise.
That's the one franchise.
Yeah.
We've crossed franchises. Don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams. Oh, it's another franchise.
that Jack's genetic code held the key. That he was able to hold, like, Jack was able to hold all the data from the ancient repository in his brain. And even 1 generation ago, no human could have done that.
Right.
That's
insane.
Big old bomb to drop.
That's a big deal. Because that means even back when Catherine and Ernest and all these other people were going through the gate, this wasn't an option.
No.
But all of a sudden, bottom of the 9th, this kid comes out of nowhere. He's possible Grand Slam. Okay.
Yeah. So Jack,
Big Jack,
is a significant step forward in our evolutionary path.
Wow.
And to the Asgard, Jack is legend. Wait for it. Dairy.
Sorry, I couldn't wait long enough.
So while the rest...
I got excited.
So the rest of the Asgard were distracted with the replicators, Loki thought he could be the salvation of his people. He regrets nothing.
No, if he had done well,
Yeah, he would have saved his
He'd
people.
be a fucking hero.
Exactly.
So why would he regret it? It was a big
Gamble.
yes, thank you.
But he can't help Jack, who can see why Loki was kicked out of the science club.
Yeah.
But that's it. Jack has had enough. Don't make him call Thor. And Loki's like, no!
Please don't call my brother.
Please don't
He's
call
such a
him.
dick. Yeah.
Sam's like,
He's such a fucking square. Yeah.
Sam's like, Jack, come here. Jack, we've tried that.
Yeah.
We
Don't
can't
go
get
work.
him.
Yeah.
But maybe from an Asgard ship, it would be different.
Yeah.
And as they wait, Jack starts to finally feel the effects. And he gets very wobbly and does not feel good. And then Thor shows up.
He's like, what?
He's
I heard
like,
my brother was being a butthole.
Loki, what have you done?
Yeah.
What have you done?
Why were you buttholing?
And Jack is like playing Dr. Moreau.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Jack is not, he may play dumb.
Yeah.
But like calling out Dr. Moreau as references
It's
here.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I like that Jack calls out Dr. Moreau.
Yeah.
And Big Jack takes a minute.
Yeah.
So to me, that says that he read it or somewhere in his teens.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you have not read that, Moreau is as bad guy as you can possibly get.
That was
Like, creating human hybrids from vivisection bad.
That's not
Like,
creepy.
bad.
Frankenstein.
So we learn another new thing. Jack's genetic code is like patent pended on Asgard.
He's a big deal.
His DNA was tagged to prevent further manipulation.
Right.
Or manipulation, not further. And that's why his clone didn't mature.
So yeah, they found that he was different already.
Yeah.
So they're protecting it.
They patented Jack's genetic code.
They're like, don't fuck with this one. This one's special.
Yeah.
Way to go, Loki.
So Thor says that Jack is advanced, but he is not the key to their cloning issues.
Or to his heart.
Oh.
Sad.
But the key in the DNA is like, it isn't what caused the clone to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Loki just never needed one to survive. Like, he just didn't put the effort into making the clones. They're only supposed to be there for a week.
Just throwaways.
Yeah. So he didn't put in time to making a good one. And somehow Thor is shocked that Jack would want Jack to live. Of course he does.
Right.
And so Thor will try. I will try to fix you. So Loki.
Tears stream down your... Okay, I'm done.
Loki
You did this.
is the adopted son of Odin. As most of us know, he is the son of a giant, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name just to save everyone. And he is basically great at trolling Thor, great at getting Thor to help him out and then troll him.
And then being a snake.
Great at crashing parties and getting gods wasted and getting him wasted and trolling.
Yeah.
He pretty much only cares about amusing himself.
He's just a good time dude.
He's just a
He's
troll.
just a bro.
He's the most broiest
He's like
bro.
a frat boy, a smart frat boy bro dude.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I don't know, because I've always kind of considered Thor the frat boy
That's
of
true.
the Norse.
That's true. Yeah.
Thor's
like
pretty frat boy.
Yeah, you're right. It's the wrong.
Like, he's just the most Slytherin that's ever Slytherin.
Yeah. Literally, he's a snake.
He is. So sometimes he has you do some insane sometimes he has to do insane shit to get him out of the insane shit that he's gotten himself into.
Yeah.
Like, one giant...
He just leans into things.
He
is
does.
what it is. Yeah.
One giant is like, kidnap Idun or I'll kill you. And then the rest of the gods, after he kidnapped her, were like, well, go get her back or we'll kill you.
It's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually, the only times he usually ends up helping people is to fix shit that he's caused himself.
Yeah, he just creates madness and then, like, look, I'm a hero. I fixed the madness that I caused.
The most chaos Muppet that you've ever met in your life.
God.
Eventually, he does get some horrible punishment. He's tied down in a cave, the ropes being the entrails of one of his sons. And there is a serpent sitting above him dripping venom. But his wife, some reason, is by his side, catching the poison into a bowl so he doesn't get burnt. But at some point, that bowl gets full. So she has to go empty it.
Yeah.
And then the venom drips onto him and he thrashes in agony so badly, earthquakes.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Interestingly enough, or maybe because he's like basically an anti-god, there's really no record of people worshiping Loki in a traditional sense.
Sure. Even if you did, it wouldn't be out loud.
No.
Yeah.
There's like no written record
Yeah.
of cults to Loki or anything.
That's fair. I wonder, is Loki's more the guy you blame for shit?
Yeah. And unlike in the last Thor film, normally he's the father of Hel and and in the film her wolf, Fenrir.
Okay.
There's also like a great story. So Neil Gaiman
I
has
just realized that there's also the name of the wolf in Harry Potter. The
it
bad
is.
werewolf.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, I'm done.
So Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology, great read if you can get it. It's basically all the greatest hits told by Neil Gaiman. It's fantastic, including the story of when he turns into a female horse and then gives birth to Odin's horse.
He's pretty ahead of his time.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Anyway, speaking of creatures, there's a dog underneath my foot.
There's a creature.
So sometime later, Jack drops Jack off at high school.
Yeah. Oh, with that. Let's bring some light onto the terrible 2000s music playing in the background of this entire scene.
By the way, this is "Who Am I" by Lily Frost. Takes me back to my college days. Yeah.
Worst.
Yeah.
My opinion.
She has some really good music though. If I remember correctly, I think she married someone from South or Central America. So she has a bunch of albums that got like this huge like flair of really good beats behind it.
Truly my opinion. Worst.
You heard one song.
Fair.
And it was a song written in that era.
But also in 2003, I was listening to nothing but punk music. So
Yeah,
there would have been no helping. There would have been nothing that would have pleased me unless it was like Rancid.
That's the thing. This is not, shall I say, my favorite of her songs.
Okay.
I'm not an aficionado of Lily Frost. She's Canadian, and therefore I probably listened to a lot of her in college. She does like it twists. Like her music did take a shift a couple years from now.
Got it.
Is what I'm saying.
Got it. I'm with you.
There's some good beats in it.
I'll buy it.
Okay. Anyways, dropping off at high school, he's thought a lot about this, and he never really embraced high school first time around. And this is a chance to do it over. And from here on out, they're different men.
Yeah.
And they mutually decide not to keep in touch because that would just be weird.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's so many questions left unanswered. He's a 16-year-old kid with no parents, just on his own.
Yeah.
Does the Air Force put him? Does the military put him up? Do they give him some money?
I can imagine. So I can imagine.
Does he get a stipend?
That he is pretty set that the Air Force hooked him up. I'm guessing a fake guardian, like just someone to sign bullshit when he has to. A stipend until he reaches a certain age. Free healthcare for the whole clone reasons.
Right.
I'm assuming. Yeah. Also, they're keeping in touch with him in case Jack needs kidney or blood or something.
And also, I feel like he should have gone to Sunnydale High. It's just, he needs to go somewhere where he's appreciated.
Yes.
And his skills are useful.
Yes.
Sunnydale would have been appropriate. Now, in 2003, Chilton would have been more available, but you don't need a Jack Jack at Chilton.
You don't need a Jack Jack at Chilton, no.
Although that would be fun. Can you imagine putting Jack Jack and Paris Geller in a room?
Oh my god.
Because I think ultimately they would love each other.
The room would explode.
But everybody else would be like, hit the fucking bed. But those two strong personalities, because he's smart as fuck.
He is smart as fuck.
And so is Paris.
Yeah.
Actually, the sexual tension would be like, holy crap.
So
somebody
speaking of that,
these children.
Jack is like, you sure you want to do this? And young Jack turns to the high school girls looking at him and giggling.
Like, yep.
And then Jack is like, yes, go forth, young man.
Go forth and deposit your seed.
And with that, young Jack puts on the worst sunglasses ever.
Oh, God, yes.
And we pan away as he introduces himself to the girls. And I mean, listen, I can't imagine even being 16 and wanting to date a high schooler. Like, I didn't. I didn't date in high school because I didn't want to have anything to do with dating anyone in my high school. Like, just, no.
Thank you. Yeah.
Like, I'll just skip that until, like, for another 3 years.
Yeah. Give me some time here.
And yeah. That is Fragile Balance.
It was fun.
It is a ridiculous episode.
It's just fun. There's nothing to it but fun times.
No.
fun times. Which is why I finished my drink.
Next up, Orpheus.
Morpheus.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
We just have bad sunglasses.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the band sunglasses season. Orpheus. That's music.
Sure.
The Orpheum Theaters.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
therefore
This
Orpheus
is
is music related.
Okay.
That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
We have another Indeed. And
Let's
are
do
we
it.
counting both for crying out louds?
No, because
Okay.
only one was Jack's.
We have one then.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. And then we are counting that as a Peter DeLuise cameo?
Yes.
Alrighty.
I will take it.
We have a 0.5. Remember, we have a 0.5, so we're at
Right.
17.5.
Yeah, I mean, unless we call this a 0.5 and then we get back to a rounded number.
Why don't we do that? Well, let's do
Let's do it.
17. Cool.
Done.
And we're gonna start the full rankings next week.
Yeah.
We are also going to, for our Patreons, we will have, we will have, we're going to do our top 10 overall for our patrons that will be up at the same time as this one is up. And then we will
We're gonna
announce.
share them with everybody
next week.
But we're going to work them out for the Patreon.
Yes. Because that's always fun and rambly.
But yeah, it'll be fun times. We'll see you guys next week. As always, you know where to find us. On Twitter, we're at Tara Podcast.
On Facebook, we're at There's No Place Like Tara.
You can email us at there's no place like Tara @gmail.com.
And you can find us at Patreon at patreon.com/There's No Place Like Tara. Rate us, like us, review us on Apple Podcasts.
I'm gonna go have
SoundCloud.
more drinks.
Yep.
No, I should be done.
Okay.
Okay, we gotta go. Bye.
Wait. Where's my thing? And then the thing. And then bye.
Bye, guys.
Yay!